Debbie, I'm really excited to speak to you today. We are here in our formal attire, but I'm sure a couple of months back we were both in leggings and formal t-shirts and maybe even a sweat top during the lockdown in South Africa. And this is really quite indicative of the changes that we've seen pre-lockdown as well as post-lockdown in terms of the fitness and health industry. What have we seen in terms of how it is that South African consumers are shopping?
Gugu, thank you very much. Great to be here with you this morning. Yes, I did put a little bit of makeup for the occasion. Gugu, I think, so that's been fascinating to see how the numbers have evolved and to see what people are up to. Always when you put in a pressure environment, you can actually see, what's lying underneath. I think in general, I think South Africans like being fit. They like being healthy. There was a lot of fitness activity pre-COVID, and I think the lockdown just helped emphasize what we have, the freedoms that we have, and then as we came out of lockdown, I see that trend picking up again. I think we want to be there, we want to be active, and we want to be healthy.
Yeah, we want to be healthy and fit, and that also led to a significant drive in sales, skipping ropes, fitness apps, what else? Extra leggings and athleisure wear. This is quite interesting, and I understand part of a global phenomenon, but heightened as well here in South Africa.
Absolutely, and many of the sports shops have anecdotally mentioned, geez, if they just had more stock, because I think, as soon as the equipment comes onto the floors, they fly out. But from the F&B pool, and how F&B customers spend, we've seen very interesting data, and definitely as we, you can see how it just bottoms out when we go into lockdown, and then how it picks up again. I think we'll all remember that first week in May when everybody could run again and the dogs were barking crazy hours.
Right.
And people flocked to the activewear stores. We saw a huge increase in activewear sales. We saw a huge increase in sports equipment sales. So definitely, yes, that little bit of pent-up demand, but people were keen to get out there again. And also a nice pickup in health and food spend. In August, we had close to 63% people spending 63% more of their wallet than what they did August last year.
Sure.
July, we were sitting at 51%. So yes, it's definitely been, I think COVID has been great in terms of the health and fitness industry, and just reminding us all of how great it is to be able to move and to be healthy.
And that also highlights something, right? Perhaps because of COVID, we were all very aware of boosting our immune systems and being healthy and being fit and strong. Was that perhaps some kind of influencing factor with us popping more vitamins, trying to keep active as well, even though we were in confined spaces?
Yes, I think COVID created panic, right? I think everybody was, all of a sudden, there was this heightened attention on your health and how you're feeling and looking after yourself and trying to keep your immune system as strong as possible. So we saw our pharmaceutical spend going through the roof. A lot of spend on obviously personal care, hand sanitizers and that kind of thing, but also spend on vitamins and trying to keep yourself healthy, which then also feeds into the healthy eating that people seem to be doing, which could also be a function of the restaurants being closed.
Yes.
And you're cooking at home, and therefore you're more conscious about what you buy. But yes, definitely, it's that was good for the pharmaceutical industry as well.
Debbie, as we know, there are pros and cons to any situation. So whilst we might have seen a uptick in spending in certain sectors, gyms unfortunately were closed during the hard lockdown until they were able to open around mid-August in South Africa.
That's right. So I think the story around gyms is actually quite fascinating, because if you look at the spend data, you'll see it's like the spend, the consumers' proportional spend onto gyms, obviously falls off a cliff. And I think what the gyms did is they suspended the debit orders for the period of lockdown, which I think was a great move. So it's and I think that's going to stand them in good stead as they come back again. But so the activity around gyms was there pre-COVID, and I think that's going to happen again. Already we've started seeing attendance in the gyms going up. Since they opened mid-August, when attendance was a fraction of what it was the previous year in the same week, it's now nearing 50%. And I think the reasons why people go to gym is because we are social beings. We like seeing each other. We like being amongst others. And I think we also we like the variety and the equipment and the trainers and the classes. And I think everything that took us to gyms in the first place is going to take us back there again.
And that's important that you highlight that, because it almost seems as though COVID has kind of highlighted and exacerbated maybe some of the extremes of our human behavior, keeping to the health and fitness trends, going back to gym now that the summertime has come back upon us in the southern hemisphere. So has it perhaps been this microscope that has allowed us to evaluate human behavior, human spend, and the trends that we usually see regarding our culture and behavior when it comes to health and fitness?
Absolutely, Guga. I think so. I think also South Africans don't like being told what they can't do. So I think as soon as you tell them they can't do that, then then that's what they fight to do. But I do think that we as a nation are quite conscious of the way we treat our bodies, the way we present ourselves. And so I do think that, COVID has just reminded us of the great stuff that we do have available, and focusing on yourself, eating healthy, taking the necessary vitamins, working out, getting the exercise. And I think that's obviously, that's going to, so post-COVID, I think we're just going to have an even bigger, greater, fitter nation.
Well, Debbie, you highlighted that people have gone back to gym, but I was one of those at the beginning of lockdown who actually downloaded a couple of fitness apps, and I understand I just might not be alone.
You are definitely not alone, Gugu. So we have been tracking the spend on fitness apps since January 2018. So there was a little bit of a downtick in January, from January to June, July, but July 2018, it's just been soaring. So people have been downloading apps, and actually, so the only thing that we can obviously track is the apps that you pay for. So there's a lot of free apps as well. And I think, so the fact that people have wanted, which they could have been using previously, but the fact that people are willing to pay for apps now is again an indication of wanting to be fit, wanting to be healthy. And obviously with lockdown, you can't go anywhere, you don't have a trainer in front of you, so it's nice to have, you don't have a personal trainer, so it's nice to have somebody that you can watch and that you can direct and to tell you what to do, and that kind of thing. So yes, I mean, sort of downloading, paying, fitness apps soared to about 73% of July 2018 spend. So definitely, I guess it's going to be interesting to see, whether we sustain this, and whether we, do we throw in our virtual gym instructor for somebody real that we can not touch but at least see.
Makes sense. And that's, I guess, our view looking down the road and maybe running on it as well, depending on one's fitness culture and how it is that we manage this behavior. But in line with international trends, given that there's a second wave that's happening globally, are we likely to see this happen perhaps next year once we might have a second case or trend in South Africa of cases?
So I think that's a very exciting question, and it's exciting to be able to watch and see how it unfolds. I mean, I have no doubt, and I mean, I know me personally, that, there were guys walking in my streets that I didn't know existed. So definitely there were a lot of people that have come, I don't want to say new entrants into the fitness world, but definitely people that did a little bit more than what they would have done. So is it sustainable? And I guess I'm wavering a bit because I'm in two minds, because, when we were during lockdown, when our movement was restricted, when we weren't able to go out and meet friends and have dinners and go to work, we had a lot of free time on our hands, and then it's easier to maintain a fitness routine because, we've got to do something to fill the hours of the day. So I think it will be interesting to see as we go back to work and time gets cut short again, as we are able to go see friends, go out to restaurants, are we going to be able to maintain this? But again, I think worst case will be that we get to the levels that we were at pre-COVID. I think, COVID is just highlights what was already existing. And I think, we had quite a strong fitness culture pre that. And I think we will definitely see a level, if not greater, in a few months from now. But that would be interesting to get back to.
Yeah. On a lighter note, sweatpants or suits?
Sweatpants, hands down.
Any day, right? Well, let's see if that is a trend that might just pick up again as people do return to a sense of normality.